All right, so let's launch Gradle and import our data. To launch Gradle, double click the icon, and here now go to File, Open Data, User File, and here we're going to need to locate where we are storing our data set. So mine's on my desktop in my modeling section, simple linear regression, and here just at the bottom in the drop down, select all files. You can select CSV, but I usually select all files, and there it is. That's our file. So let's double click that and open it up. And right away, we've got a message here saying that the imported data have been interpreted as undated cross-sectional. Do you want to give the data a time series or panel interpretation? So here, just click no. We don't want a time series or panel interpretation. Here you got some stats on what data was imported. So that's normal. And here you have your, basically your variables and the constant. So what we can do here, let's start getting used to Gradle. And you'll get more and more familiar with the interface as we get along. It's very simple. After a few of these tutorials, you'll be swimming here very, very easily. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to View, and here we want to look at the summary statistics of our data. So if you go View Summary Statistics, here you can select the variables that you want to view. So let's start with one, for instance, say years experience. We want to see what population we're looking at here, or what sample we're looking at here. And here you can see the mean. So on average is 5.3 years experience. The median, the minimum 1.1, maximum 10.5, standard deviation, stuff like that. Then you got the percentiles of your year's experience and no missing observations. So that's quite useful. The other thing we can do is we can do the same but with both variables. So summary statistics, and we can just put both variables in here. So you can see this is like a drag and drop interface, or more just probably a very handy visual interface, not really drag and drop, but you can take things out. So you can like put things in, out, very intuitive, I guess. So here you click OK now, and there you go. So now you have your statistics for both variables. So you've got your means, your medians, minimums, maximums, percentiles, standard deviation. The rest of them we won't be that interested in. So that's basically the most basic thing you can do probably in Gradle. You can also like right click your variable here and say display values, and it'll show you the exact values that were imported if you want to look at them. What else? You can, for instance, edit values if you want. That will allow you to actually manipulate your values, which I don't recommend doing. But if you need to adjust something, you can do it right in here. You don't have to go back to the CSV file. Then what else? You can edit attributes. So you can change the name of the variable, you can add some description and so on. And by the way, like we'll see later on, if you make changes to your data that can't really be stored in a CSV file, like descriptions and other things like that, then you can always, when you save your data, you have an option to save it as a Gradle data file. And that way Gradle will actually store all these modifications that you're making, and they won't be lost. So Gradle does have its own type of files that it creates. So that's basically the most simplest thing you can do in Gradle. If you like, play around, click around here, what else you can find. There's lots of stuff. Even if you break the data, you just modify it or something, doesn't really matter. This first section, we're just getting to know Gradle, and we'll just do a simple linear regression in the next tutorial. So nothing bad can happen even if you play around with it. Just as long as you're comfortable with this interface, and we'll get straight into it in the next tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you then.